Live right now. We're live right now
All
in two
right.
places. Okay, so don't say the F word.
Yes, ma'am.
It's okay with me, but we both don't want to
I don't want to die.
Yeah, we don't want to get in trouble. Yeah, I like that you're pimp daddy. That's awesome.
That's
So
right.
it's Lee Bibb right here, live and in person.
Do we
Lee
got
Bibb.
anybody?
Lee Bibb. So let's let's try to be informative here, shall we? Yeah. We already were talking about how my jewelry is going to look so awesome at the dog park after a while. I'm going with Mr. Greg.
You're wearing
Yeah.
shoes, right?
You know what though? This has gotten worse since. Oh, good morning, Stacy and Maria. Yay! We got people watching. That's always good.
Yeah.
No, I've been wearing what are the oh God, the Crocs. I've been wearing Crocs for like 2 years now, right? Don't worry, I don't wear the like bright pink ones or anything. They're
You
black
got like the
and
little
blue. They got holes in them.
things on them.
Yeah, they're comfortable as crap. See, I said crap. They're comfortable as
Yeah.
crap. So I don't care anymore. They're comfortable. I'm wearing them. I'm wearing them. But anyway, they're not really that appropriate at the dog park. So there's
No.
Tracy and Jen. Man, we got a full house. If your thing said, if you didn't go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and say it was okay to show your name, though, I see Facebook user, and there's a bunch on here already. The one that said, I'm happy to be here live, love the special guest. I can't tell who you are. So go quickly over there and agree to letting us see your name so I can see who you are. So anyway, yeah, the dog park was all like mud,
Ugh.
freezing cold mud.
I say
The
it should be
dogs loved it though. Huh?
should be like ice mud by now, shouldn't it?
It was mud because we got like what 2 feet of snow and then the dogs trampled it. So,
Oh, okay. So you still
right.
how far are we from the rat trails over there?
The rat trails. What's
The
that?
tunnels, the hamster tunnels.
Yeah. Oh, the sneaker peek. We call that the sneaker peek season, right? Because you have to pull out of the driveway and a little at a time and peek, and a little at a time and peek, and then floor it. Take a risk and floor it because you can't really tell if someone's coming or not around the snowbank.
I haven't done
Yeah,
sneak peek since back in West Virginia.
no, I bet they don't have that there, do you? You don't get enough snow for that, do you?
No, we average 4 inches of snow a year.
Oh, no, we had just 4 feet of snow, of a storm.
Yeah, that's West Virginia, not down here.
Janet Hewitt said, can you see my name? No, it still says Facebook user. I don't know why. Donna's on from Georgia. Said, good morning, Lisa and Pimp Daddy. Yeah, Pimp Daddy. Oh, Tamara can see your name, so I guess maybe it's just us.
It
Yes,
might be
Marie
because
Davis,
she's
I
on.
see yours.
Is it because she's on your wall and not on the Facebook?
Right. This is a new technology for me, people. So that's why I can't tell for sure. I last time I couldn't see the comments from my personal wall, but I could see them from Monday Morning Madness. So I don't know. So let's just keep a rolling, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. So which the time I remember meeting you was when Marianne hired me to do a speech or well a training or whatever you want to call it down in Maryland, and you were lugging my stuff.
Yeah, I actually talked to you before that because Ray said, here's a number. You're to call this lady and she needs you to fix something on her flyer. Take care of it. And he hung
Oh,
and
oh, so we did that before that. I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. It's probably quick because you said I need that. They messed up and put the U instead of the E in Lisa Wilber.
That's so common.
And I fixed that for you and you sent it back and you said, that's great. I'll see you there. Click.
Oh, okay. Oh, it was during the same time though, around the same time.
Yeah. And then we
Yeah. Oh,
came
nice.
down and Ray's like, go help her lug her stuff. So I was out there lugging your stuff long before we became friends.
Oh, I always, that was a theme going because, like Mullins, I want him to lug my stuff. I'm like,
I
I
say, you
rope
never run this
anybody in.
thing, but hey, you're standing there. Come on.
I do that when people come here too. Did you notice that? It's like, hey, there's a man in the house. So I must have a light bulb or something you can change. There must
Well,
be some
remember,
crap,
Mom,
man crap you can do.
it wasn't any better because when we pulled up there to come up to your house for the ride of life, Molly goes, "There's stuff in the van. Get it in the house."
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
What's funny with you two is like you're obviously so friendly and stuff, but you're so tall that it's intimidating. Because I'm like, hey, how's the air up there? What are you?
You're tall. It's that you're short.
Hey, that's not funny. Okay, this is the first appearance of the club salute. The club salute. Oh man.
So yeah.
Yeah.
No, and then it
Oh,
kind of just went uphill from there because we had quite a few adventures and a few misadventures, and
what's funny is I wasn't part of the group originally. It was you and Teresa and Scola. I didn't even know them guys that well. I knew Teresa from.
it was Molly and Teresa, and then you and Scola were like, "Hey,
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you'd been hanging around with Scola a lot longer than me.
no,
I thought I was the last one.
we met Scola in Hawaii. We had talked
Oh,
to
okay.
her some, but we didn't meet her until Hawaii when the great Woman of Enterprise debacle happened."
Oh, yeah, you're calling it that, but it was really what was that? The Tapa bar or something. It was
Yeah,
when we were still doing the shots for the dead people.
Molly affectionately calls it when you killed the legend.
Oh, well, go ahead and tell that part. So
Well,
that was
honestly,
so not true though.
Ray Penn set you up for a fall because he told me how much of a shots legend you were. And dude, you got to do shots with her. She can drink everybody under the table. And
Well,
much
it's
like
so
Mark
sad.
Twain said once, the events of this story are greatly exaggerated. I wasn't aware. So we started with 2 bottles of tequila and a big list. And we got halfway through the list and through the first bottle, and you were yelling you couldn't feel your face and took off.
I'm like, oh God, no.
And then I saw you the next morning and you looked like you were dragging your head behind you.
Oh God, I looked like I'd been rolled in a street fight. No, what with Ray and the other guy I used to do that with. The other husband is oh God, what's his name? That's so awful. I haven't seen him for a while. That's right. Ricky Henderson. I'd see Ricky at the bar or Ray at the bar, and the thing is, I would only get a shot in or maybe 2 shots in before their wife would drag them off. So it's not they thought I was drinking way more than I was drinking because they got lugged off long before long before we got to what did we do that in the Hawaii? We were in like 6 or 7 deep. Were we? Oh my God.
We were through a bottle.
Oh, it wasn't just us though. I mean, there was a bunch of people
Me,
there.
you, and 2 other people, but 4 of us went through a bottle. We were like 7 or 8 deep, and you were like, "I can't feel my face. This ain't good. This ain't good. This ain't good."
Well, and then we'll leave it unnamed. Your microphone's tapping a little bit, by the way, making a noise.
I don't
I don't
even
know why.
fix that.
Yeah, maybe you can't fix it. Slushes. Oh, Teresa. Teresa called the Slushes. Hey, you were right in there with us.
I was gonna say,
Hey, wasn't it Teresa's son that went and bought the bottle?
yeah.
There wasn't. It was not that time. There was another time.
I think it
They
was
didn't.
more. Teresa's more of a lush than we are, but we'll kind of leave Teresa out of this.
Oh, that wasn't nice. We're discussing the Hawaii trip. Teresa says we must be discussing Hawaii. Yeah, they decided at corporate that it was going to be a dry event or something. They weren't going to provide liquor, so we were on our own and we made the most of it. I guess that's how you can put it.
And they said yo-yo, and we said okay, and got a couple bottles and started adding it to drinks. to our drinks and to other people's drinks.
Yeah, we got a little carried away. Yeah, the whole Women of Enterprise part is because the next morning I looked like I'd been rolled in a street fight. Seriously. And then I had to go at the Women of Enterprise. Bless her heart, bless my heart. I hope she can't come back from the dead. But Irma Skaggs, who died recently, she died last summer. I'm scared of her. I mean, I'm as scared of her as I am of my mother. We're all scared of her, right? We're all scared of Irma to the point where we like go to great lengths because she checks to make sure we have our Women of Enterprise pin on, and we'll like find ways to go around to help the ones that forgot their pin, so we can go by her with the pin on. So we'll like change the ones we have out in the hall, so we all happen to have it when we go by Irma for the pin check, because we're all afraid of Irma. She's not afraid to give you like a public dressing down in front of everybody because you didn't wear your pin. I just hope to God, if there's any justice in the world, that somebody thought to put that pin on her in her casket and put the trophy in there, because that's what she said when she spoke at the Women of Enterprise breakfast every single year, that she wanted to get buried with a trophy. What?
I said, I'm sure it was in her directive.
Oh, I hope so. Because I think there's going to be hell to pay for someone if it wasn't in there. Because that's what she wanted always. Wow. Yeah, and you know what I liked about her? She was kind of redneck like us, really. She would talk about her husband always the whole name. He never one name. It's Howard Skaggs, the whole thing.
Howard Skaggs. Yeah. Oh, Howard Skaggs show up. He'd be right there beating feet.
She said that Howard Skaggs been sitting on the Davenport. He's sitting there saying, "You ain't gonna get that trip." But he was Johnny on the spot, that Howard Skaggs was, when I got that trip. I can't do her. She's so funny. But she's shorter than me. She was like 4 foot something.
Yeah. She was a kneecap warrior, but she was a bad woman.
Oh, yeah. She reminded me of Mrs. Miner. She was our brownie troop leader when I was a little girl. And Mrs. Miner was one of those ones that she was like, I swear to God, she was 3.5 feet tall. But you didn't mess with her, the adults either. If Mrs. Miner said sit down, she didn't even have to yell. She'd just sit down. You just all sat down just in case, she was talking to you. She was one of those. Yeah. Matter of fact, let's talk about that for a minute. Your dad and my mom, I think, went to school together or something. Oh. Or they're twins separated at birth.
My dad don't even have to say anything. He just goes.
Yeah, my mom too. Yeah. She got a look that could freeze water. Yeah.
How many times have I been like, hey, I gotta go, Dad's calling.
Right. Yeah. What I can't get is like some of my cousins like aren't afraid. And I'm like, have you lost your mind?
Oh, my niece isn't afraid of my dad, and I just think she's on a suicide mission.
I don't get it. I don't know. Yeah,
from a distance, and I don't think she would drive down here, but I'm scared she might.
Well, I mean, growing up, Grammy's favorite thing to say was, "Go ahead, you're gonna hear 2 thumps, me hitting you and you hitting the ground." When I was little kid, that all the time. Your dad was like that too.
I remember when we were in Chicago and you and I were cutting up, and Grammy cut us both a look, and we were both like,
right. Oh, she didn't like it when I cut up at meetings. No, and I'm bad about that too.
She was like, we didn't do nothing.
Oh, by the way, before I forget, I was just looking at, my naughty cup, right? So a couple weeks ago, the naughty cup. Yeah, this is my naughty cup. You need a naughty cup. My naughty cup. A couple weeks ago when I had on JP. Okay, a couple weeks ago, and he did a nice little promo for the coffee, and a bunch of people put in the comments that they wanted samples. The samples are on the way. I was late getting them out, so if you don't have your sample yet, it's on the way. If you didn't get in on that, you could put it in the comments today, and I'll look back and make sure that I include you in that sample sending situation. So that's for the CBD coffee. So your samples are on the way if you already commented. If you didn't comment or didn't hear it last time and want one, put it in the comments and I'll look and find it and send you one.
I just have my regular Starbucks.
Yeah. Oh, you put it in your own mug? Oh yeah, you're high maintenance man with all his own stuff.
Yeah,
That was
I got
close.
my mug, but it's like a 4-cup coffee cup.
Oh, yeah. I remember you had to bring that with you. You had to have your own coffee thing and everything. Yeah.
Be honest, that was
You're
more
high
my
maintenance?
wife. She was like, because remember when Molly came up, she brought her own knives, her own pots, her own pans, her own
Right.
skillets.
Well, that was more reasonable because the odds of me having the stuff that she wanted to cook with were probably pretty slim because I try to avoid cooking at all possible.
We figured that out real quick when Molly goes, "Do you have?" And you were like,
Right. Well, for the shopping list? Oh, yeah. I probably have more now than I had then because I do
"Yeah,"
better
but she
about that
bought
now.
it and brought it back.
I was pretty, well, yeah. You guys left a bunch of stuff and then I tried some of that stuff because there was a bunch of new. You know what? It's funny. That happens every time someone stays here. Last time Teresa was drinking vitamin water at that point. I'd never even seen that before. Now I drink it all the time because she left some in my fridge. So there's something to be said for sampling.
I was there's a lot to be said for sampling. We've gone
Oh,
through alcohol bottles that you're like, never tried this.
oh, nice. Yeah, I still got like a whole bar set up here. Yeah, we gotta do that
Just for
again.
you and the kid.
That was fun. I know you guys don't like to drive up this far, and I don't blame you. Don't do that. Oh, I hate that. I hate it when he like my bare arm and he puts his wet nose. Oh, right at the dog. Right. Oh,
Hey, you know why he does that, right?
because I do that and I pat his head. It works.
Dogs are
Right.
men, cats are women.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Let's talk about the Man Village. You know, last time I was talking to Mullins about it because he's not really a proponent of the man, but you are definitely following the rules. Yes, you do not deviate from the rules.
Eric's about to get tossed.
He's gonna get tossed. They're gonna cut his card up, huh?
Yeah. There's a meeting that's about to happen on that one. For multiple reasons.
Well, and one of your big ones is the flip-flops, which I don't understand that one. It can't have the thing between your toe.
No, those are girls.
That makes no sense. What if someone likes those because they stay on better?
Makes sense, but we must follow them. There has to be order. Remember, I sent you the thing about the bathroom etiquette, and you saw how fast that can go downhill. And Mullins breaks that one all the time. He wants to talk to you and pee right beside you.
Yeah. He says he does that on purpose to cause havoc.
Yeah, and it's going to cost him his card.
His man card.
I mean,
okay, so
Randy, when we were up there for the ride of life, you were like, "Randy, take him for a ride," and we were both.
Oh well, yeah. So let me go there. So now I started asking you about this, and actually, I think I was even still married to number two when I found out about this. I found out about it because that senator got arrested in the men's room at the airport in Minneapolis. I remember this. I don't remember the senator's name, but he got arrested for tapping his shoe. And I'm like, he just tapped his shoe. He didn't say anything. And they had a sting operation and arrested him, and he lost his family, and they all left him, and he got canned as a senator because he tapped his shoe. And that's when I started asking questions. What?
Because it's a signal.
Believe me, you could tap your shoe in the woman's room. We don't give a
But y'all also have couches and flowers and a whole setup.
We don't care what you do in the women's room. Have a ball.
No.
I swear to you, even if an old lady held up a 20 and said, "Blow me for 20," we don't care. We'd probably giggle and laugh and leave. We're not gonna like have a sting operation, have her lose her career over it. We don't. We would just laugh and leave. Why can't you guys do that? You can't.
There are rules. You go in, you keep your mouth shut, you do your business, you wash your hands, and you get out. There's no reason to be standing in there talking. That's for outside.
Well, I don't know. Why would if somebody does something you don't like in the men's room, why don't you ignore them or laugh at it and leave?
We have to send a message for future generations.
Okay, so you can understand my bewilderment, though, can you? Okay.
I told
Because
you, these rules will not make sense to you.
No, they don't. And you know what's funny? Okay, so once I found out it was all about the rules, I looked, they don't have sting operations in any women's room. They only do sting operations in the men's room, right? And when I was overseas or when I was like standing around with a group of people, I would just say out and out, just say, "Is there any talking in the men's room?" And I would just say it like that. And men would act like I asked them if there was killing in the men's room. Oh, no, there's no talking. They would, oh, no. And then I realized it's not just that rule. There's like a book of rules.
You and I need to write that book one time.
Right. I couldn't even believe it. And that's when I started asking you all the rules. So anyway, I had gotten down to a bunch of rules. I knew about a bunch of rules, but when you guys got here for the ride of life, I didn't know about the motorcycle rules. Yeah. So all I knew is you're a blind guy, so you couldn't like drive the motorcycle. I got that, right? But Randy was giving people rides, but I didn't.
The hostage situation.
I didn't realize that Randy was only giving women rides. I didn't notice that. I just noticed that Randy was giving people rides because I wasn't sitting there keeping track of who. I was just like, oh, he keeps leaving and coming back. He's giving people rides. So you're sitting there like drooling over the motorcycle, and I'm like, oh my God, why don't you give him a ride? And the two of you stood there. I remember this, looking at me, and you hesitated for a minute, and then you went, no. But stuff, is it about, if it's about your junk, there's stuff between your junk. There's pants between your junk. They make no sense.
We established that back in the bathroom.
Oh. So they don't have to make sense.
Understand there's a principle they can follow all the way through the rules, and it could be that they make no sense to anybody else.
Okay, and you know what I think is especially funny, and I said this last time with Mullen. Most women don't know about any of it. Because I said to Grammy, when I heard about it and I heard about all the stuff, I said to Grammy, did you know that there's no talking in the men's room? She said, no, that's not true. And I said, let's ask Scott, my brother, just because I hear it from so many guys that I think it is true. And it sounds stupid enough to be true. So I'm like, let me ask Scott. So Scott was standing there and I said, hey, Scott. And my mother was standing there. I said, because she said, it can't be true. I raised the son. I was married for 25 years. I would know if that was true. So I said, hey, Scott, is there any talking in the men's room? And my brother goes, oh, no. And then he looked at my mother and he said, remember Paul? He talked that time we were in Pennsylvania doing that show back in '84.
He could remember the date, the time, and where it happened.
Yep, he could. What the hell?
So see, that didn't make any sense to you, but it was so imprinted in his mind as a traumatic.
Oh, yeah.
It never happened again.
So my mother says, why didn't you ever tell me about it? to Scott, and Scott's like, I thought everybody knew. He was like, it wasn't a thing. So then Mike is his son. Mike's a lot younger, and I said, how did you do? I said, did Scott tell you not to talk, or how did it come about that you knew not to talk? He said, if you talked in the men's room, the other men scowled at you until you learned not to do that. Nobody said don't talk. They just gave you the scowl until you quit doing it, and then you knew enough not to do it after that.
It's like my dad, and I love my father. He's a great man. But half of the counsel I got from him never included a word because it was just a look, and you knew to stop doing whatever you were doing. And I think it's a lost art with half these kids out here today because at the end of the day, you got these little terrorists running around here going, ah, and we're all like, because you didn't know that look coming and everybody's going to dive underneath the coffee tables and stuff.
Oh.
We've been somewhere with Grammy when kids are acting up, and we're all like, she's going to kill them. She's going to take them out.
Oh, though I kind of, I would never say this with her because she would kill me, but I kind of fixed, she used to say stuff to me like, we wouldn't have this problem if you were stricter with that kid and all this stuff. So, and then I finally found a way to solve that. I said, I'm willing to learn. Show me what you would do. Because usually she was saying that when the kid was tired. And I figured out pretty early on, you can't fix tired. You got to either put the kid to bed or the meltdown continues. And usually it was when like we were all day long trying to get to the cruise ship and we were at the end and we'd been on a plane and train and everything else. So, you know what I mean? It was, there was no fixing it until the kid went to sleep.
The fact that you're still here after saying that to her, I'm just in the mirror.
And that person calling me on the phone. I don't know what to do about that. He's gonna come knocking on the door in a minute.
It's more of a victim thing. Like I'm in love. Please help me. I was thinking you kind of bowed up there for a minute, like, oh, go ahead, old great one. And I'm thinking,
I'm like, show me. But she was like, she started in for a minute with the kid, and then she was like, oh no, this isn't gonna work. The kid needs to go to sleep.
I don't tell me anything. If she looked at me and said, get control of that kid, come on.
Kimberly said, I'm going to ask my man boys and husband if they know about the men's bathroom rules. See, Kimberly didn't know. Most people don't know. It's one of the, I swear to you. So you'll have to let me know what they say, Kimberly. There's a YouTube video about it, and I love it. It's so funny. I've watched it like 10,000 times because it says right in the middle of the YouTube video, so serious, it says, if Jesus himself should show up, do not speak to him.
You come outside the bathroom. But see, Jesus would rule too, and he would be like,
and the whole urinal placement thing, you do not go to, right, you don't go right next to the other guy. There's a rule about.
What happens? You end up beside somebody like Mullins who start talking to people.
And somebody else just said, I didn't know until last week when you and Eric were talking about it. I'm telling you, most of women don't know about the whole man village rule thing.
Reason for women to know, because they're not in our bathroom.
But I don't know. So, right. So did you guys, we don't have almost no rules. The other rule that I thought was bizarre. Now let's say you're in the stall and there's no paper, you forgot to look ahead. You can't ask the guy in the next stall to spare a square. Right. But it seems like in an emergency that would make sense.
No, because you have to, it's on you. The onus is on you to check before you sit down and make sure there is TP in that stall.
I had a man tell me he would, and I said this to her, a man actually said to me with a serious face that he would sooner cut off his underwear and use them and flush him down the toilet, then ask the man in the stall next to him for TP.
Yeah. It says you did not do the prep work and you failed. You failed. You did not look around and see that there was not toilet paper. That's your failure. And this is where that a failure on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine. So it comes from that bathroom situation. You failed as a human
Yeah,
being.
Shelley.
You can see if there's toilet paper in there.
Shelley said in the women's room there's no rules whatsoever. That is, I don't think there's any rules. Yeah, and you know the whole women's village.
I think
I don't know.
I agree. Once you put a couch and flowers in there, the rules go out the window.
But I mean, just in general, in the women's village, I think we have less rules. I don't know. The only rule I can even come up with is, and it's not even in stone. This is not in stone, but in general, women don't usually date men that are shorter than themselves. That's the only one I could even come up with. The rest of it is like, I don't know. We're like free for all over here. I don't know. Do you know any women's rules? I don't think there are that many.
No, but women are far more emotional than men. So,
well, I don't know about all of us.
The reason we have to have rules is because we're so non-emotional that we'll forget that you're an actual human being on the other end of this.
Oh my God, that's awesome. So Kimberly says you sound like you're jealous of the couch and flowers.
I'm a germaphobe and I wouldn't sit on that couch to save your life.
They don't usually have the couch in with the toilet, so when you flush, that stuff's not getting on the couch. They usually have like a mudroom, an entry.
Y'all apparently have never seen a men's room because women's restrooms are clean and sparkly, and I've heard that you can eat in there. It's so clean.
Right.
Men's room,
I know that, right? Yeah.
Shoes away when you come out of there.
I've been in the men's room before in an emergency, and it wasn't good, right? Yeah. If I have to go that bad, it's not. I'm not going in for the tour to start with, but I've been in them, and it's not good, right? It's like a pee free for all in there. It's like, whoo! Because you have
like Mo and start talking, and they're just spraying as they talk.
Oh, like Mullen. Oh, don't pick on poor Mullen.
Oh, about to lose his card.
They all, by the way, all the women's rooms don't have couches and flowers, just a few. No, as a matter of fact, I've seen ones. This is so ridiculous. I think they were designed by a man, by the way. I've seen them with couches and flowers and then not have a baby changing station. That is like my biggest pet peeve, because once you have a kid, you don't understand why they don't have those, because what do they think you're going to do?
Stations are kind of a newer thing. I mean, in the last 25 years.
I've had a kid in the last 25 years. When the kid was a baby was 15 years ago.
Buildings that were built and not redesigned before those came out.
Oh no, I mean like I've been to airports that didn't have one.
Some of those airports you've been in, you flew into Ed's Hair Care Tire Center and Airport. Come on.
Right. Yeah. I've been to ones you're gonna like this. You would go, they didn't have any handicapped stalls, and that's what you have to have when you have the kid, because bring the umbrella stroller with you. The little stroller for the airport is the little fold-up one, but the kid's in it. And when the kid's too small to be standing up and stuff, you got to bring that in with you to the handicap stall. They didn't have one. So I had to leave the door open to go to the bathroom. Because I had to have I couldn't leave the stroller out there with the kid in it. I couldn't bring the kid in without the stroller, because what am I doing? Right. Oh, it wasn't good.
But again, it was you and Ed at the airport.
Me and Ed at the airport, yeah. No, this wasn't a little one. I forgot where that was. I was so traumatized. I should know where it was, shouldn't I?
See,
Um,
if it was a man village rule, the man can tell you where it was, the date you landed there, and exactly what gate you came in on.
oh no, Tammy has an awful story. Oh my God, she runs she's got a hotel. This is JP's buddy, Tammy. I had one guy that was too big for our bathroom. He just backed his ass in the door and let it rip. Took our maid 2 hours to clean the bathroom alone. He is banned from the property. Oh,
There's not a man on this planet that wouldn't tell you to ban him.
did you know this is true too? Shelley said, I've been in bathrooms like this where they had ladies that stood there and offered you fragrance, mouthwash, and mints, and then you tip them. Have you been in bathrooms like that?
Oh, that happens in the men's bathroom, but they don't talk. It's all a hand and eye nonverbal communication. They'll do like this and point to the men. They'll hold the bottle out for the hand soap.
Shelley said, this is literally potty humor. Oh, yes, it is. Oh,
I mean, first time I went in, I was like, there's a dude in the bathroom handing out mints, which I'm not taking because, first of all, it's the bathroom. But I did appreciate him giving me hand soap so much that I gave him $5.
Tamara said this is hysterical. She works with all men, and I've done that before. It's not pretty. She said I have the men at this shop trained. They mess the bathroom up, they die. You have to threaten them because being the only woman in an office is awful because the guys don't aim or something. What did their mom not use Cheerios in the toilet bowl or what?
No, we have the attention span of a gnat, and you start looking around, and next thing you know,
I just would think, I mean, you guys at least got the thing to aim with. We don't even have that thing, but you guys don't aim as much as we do.
Yeah, but where the head goes, the body will follow.
Oh, okay. Oh, God.
Without
Anyway,
being scripted.
Oh,
Why do you
no.
think the TV's above the urinal?
So that brings up another problem because I do a lot of my selling and recruiting in the bathroom. I guess you're not doing that. Oh, no. No.
That's why we have Mullins on our little circle team. He can go in and do that.
Oh, okay.
You're up.
Yeah,
I'm really looking for him to get hit one time because he starts talking to make people uncomfortable, and he's going to encounter the wrong person, and they're just going to.
Oh God. Oh, that's so funny. And every time I run across something that seems extra stupid when it involves guys, I'm thinking, oh God, this is probably a man village rule. Right. And it usually is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always love when you go on a trip, you come back, or you call me from the trip and go, and I'm like, Rule 143, Section 2.
I do too. I do. I call and ask you. And I don't know why I'm surprised anymore. I'm just surprised.
I'm waiting for you to go. I need to know which rule section this is under.
Right. I don't know why I'm surprised.
Surprised.
Yeah. I don't know why it surprises me. It does. Okay, so Tammy said, when I worked construction, we had one guy that would make a mess in the porta potty all the time. Oh God, I hate porta potties to start with. So bad the other guys complained. And she said, I was the fork truck deliver. No, I was a fork truck driver, so I picked it up one day with him in it and drove him to the other end of the paper plant. Everything was sloshing all over and put him up against the loading dock so he couldn't open the door and drove back to my office. I had everyone in the mill cheering me on. He walked out of the mill and never came back. Oh, that'll teach him. Yeah, messing around in the portalet. I hate portalets, though. Oh, those are so. I bet you do because you're a germ guy. Yeah. Didn't you like it that time? We were sitting around and I picked up a fork, put it down. Yeah, that was awesome. I like watching you.
Yeah, it's always like when I'm on the phone with you and you want to mess with me, and I'm like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because I'm like paranoid that I'll have a hair on my chin. You know how that all's why that's like that is because when I worked at the flea market, there were some old ladies that had like full blown beards, and or there'd be one with like she had a giant mole and one big giant hair sticking out, and it was like you could spot the hair across the whole place, and it was like, oh God, please let that not be me. I hate that. Oh, and I hate it when like all week long I don't have because I have like the Hubble Telescope with the mirror thing right in my bathroom.
I turned
I
it
really
on. I couldn't see for a half an hour.
Yeah, I really have a bright light and the 8 times mirror in my bathroom because I'm so worried about this. And when I'm gone for a week and I'm at the hotel, you can't see anything in those mirrors. I come back and I look and I go, and the whole time I'm
I
picking them
mean,
out.
that little mirror, I'm telling you right now, you know those big lights that they shine up in the sky? They took that light and condensed it down to that little mirror. Good. I was like, this is kind of cool. Let me, ooh.
You can see every little pore on your face with that thing.
I don't know how you can see anything. That thing is the face of the sun. You wear
Oh,
sunglasses when you do it? I mean,
oh Lord, should we talk? We're like half. Oh, we're more than half in. We haven't even said anything about work.
oh,
Should we probably talk about work?
follow me, babe.
You and I are actually the opposite. Is why I talk to you about work is because I'm like Molly, big picture, and you're the guy that I have to come to if I don't understand the rules of an incentive. I don't even care about the rules. I don't even think about the rules of an incentive, and that's the first thing you think about.
Yeah. It comes down to that's my strength is those little details and that. In my previous job was engineering, and that's what you think about. You think about all the smallest components and everything, and it's fine. And I'm more analytical, so I'm non-emotional, which means you're not going to get a heartfelt response from me. But I had to learn with you and Molly, as y'all come to me and go, what 2 + 2? You don't want to know how I got the 4. You don't care about any
No.
derivations of it, anything. You just want 4. That's all you want.
Yeah, and you're apt to explain it out.
It was a learning curve, but
You do tend to explain it.
you're great at marketing, so you're my marketing person. If I have a question about that, that's not my strength or the best way to execute a marketing plan. You may not even have the full picture of it, but you know how to execute whatever we're thinking about. So and it comes down to, as much as you say I have an ego, it comes down to you have to have a humbleness to know what you suck at and what you're good at. And I think there's a point where you have to kind of go, okay, I'm good at this, but I can find me this person, this person, this person, and this person, and surround yourself with a good team that also not afraid to tell you, hey, that's a stupid idea. But you can't get your feelings hurt in the middle of that either. So,
And as friends, like our group of friends, we're a mix of people, and I'm not sure it was on purpose at first, but it seems like it's on purpose now because we all can go to each other because we have different strengths.
but the biggest key to it is we're friends enough that we can be honest, and we're still friends after the honest conversation. And it's good because I get people all the time coming to me and go, can you make my husband do numbers like you? First of all, that's your husband. I can't make him do anything. But my first question is he good at math? No. Well, that's not his strength there, boo-boo. You got to move on. You don't want him not running. You don't want him taking care of your numbers if the boy can't add and subtract. You're going to be off by a lot. So
well, I always think
it's finding and being honest. What's your strength?
I think it's funny when women say to me, they like almost demand their husband be involved in their business. And it's confusing to me because it's like, if they're not into it, why would you want that? Like, that would be like them making you go to work with them.
Exactly.
If they're, why do you want to involve them? I mean, if it's like you, where you want to do certain stuff, like you want to do the numbers and run a reports for and stuff, that's a little bit different than someone who doesn't want, obviously does not want to be involved, and then all you do is spend your time pissing and moaning about them not being involved. I don't understand that.
Well, I think the thing was, is first of all, I was observant because I see a problem. It's the engineering mindset. You see a problem, you find a solution. But instead of telling Molly how to solve it, I just said, hey, here's this. See if you can use this. And she was like, and it was kind of a proof. I saw that she needed help. I picked up on it and did it. Indeed, there are people who want to drag somebody in and say, I need help. And where you need help may not even be an area, A, they're comfortable in, or B, they're good at. I mean, we all know my wife is a heck of a cook. If you have a cooking question, you pick the phone up and call Molly because she's going to know the answer
I
for
do.
you.
I have. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. And she has far more skills than that, but that's your cooking expert. In your rotation, you said, I suck at cooking. She knows a lot. Let me call her. And that
Yeah.
takes a humbleness about it to say, I am insufficient here. So let me find somebody who is extremely sufficient. And I think my biggest thing is I will call you and ask you what you think about this marketing idea. And some of them you can try it if you want, but I think that's going to be a horrible disaster. And that's some honesty but you're not afraid for me to push back and say, so what are you seeing that I'm not? And it becomes a nice conversation where nobody gets their feelings hurt. Nobody's crying. There's none of that. I have people like Eric. Eric's
Right.
talking to people. And we just send him in and we're like, hey, we need to know, and send him in. We have Teresa. Teresa and I share a brain, so I can send the number over to Teresa and go, am I missing something? And she will dive through it, and then her and I can have the in detail conversation of where I went wrong, or yes, it's right, or whatever. And I think it becomes a nice balanced team. Scola is very good at getting people to interact with her too, and she's got a lot of knowledge on the beauty aspect of if we need to ask a question, she's got it. Carla in our group, she's really good at the online stuff. So if somebody got a question about online, we can call Carla. But Carla,
And
we're all still that piece in the wheel to each other.
what's funny? We pick on JP, but he's actually the touch-tone guy for how everybody's feeling. Because I'm not into feelings really. If I have a feeling, I stuff that back down where it belongs. Well, I'm like that. But he's and when he's willing to say, hey, other people have feelings here, women. He's willing to say that. So I mean, I would ask him something like that.
And you and I have this conversation before because neither one of us are about feelings. If you call me and you're crying, my break that glass moment and pull the lever is I'm handing it straight to Molly. I'm like,
if I call you crying, the world's coming to an end somehow.
Like, deal with it. Let me know what we got to
fix. Oh.
But I think the biggest weakness people have is having their ego or their pride be so big that they think they have to do everything. And I think that's the biggest fallacy. You find out what you're strongest in, and then you find people that have all your weaknesses. And you surround yourself with people, A, you can trust, and B, that are good at what they do. So if somebody, it's like going to a restaurant. You don't want to hire somebody who can't cook eggs to work at an egg restaurant.
Right.
And to me, that's very logical. But when you say that to people, they look very surprised. And I think it's from this whole generation of everybody can do whatever they want to. And I agree with that. But if at some point you got to look and go, look, this ain't my calling. I suck at this. Let's move on. I mean,
Well,
I'm
you know,
blind. I can't drive. I think I'd be a great driver, but I'm not willing to let everybody else figure out I can't see by bumping them real good.
you know what's funny is uh, the reason I had to come up with the delegation skill more than normal people is because I've got a house here and I don't have the information to run a house on my own really. And I'm single, of course. So the handyman, Mr. Greg, and what Mr. Greg's strength is his Rolodex. He doesn't do everything. He knows who does everything. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing.
I think.
He's the reason I've stayed in this house, I think. I don't have any doubt about that.
Do I think you have the ability that if y'all were in some god awful snowstorm and 8 feet of snow out there, which is possible where you live, and there was a problem and your sink was dripping, like
Oh, I could, yes, I
call
could deal
Mr.
with it.
Greg and you had the skill to follow instructions and he would tell you how to turn that water off.
Right, right. And matter of
Is
fact,
that going to be in your knowledge base on an average? No.
we made allowances for the fact that I don't know what I'm doing. We have special shutoffs made just for me, so I can shut off in case this happens in the middle of the night, whatever. You know what I mean? We have special allowances. But what I like about Greg is that I like to be like him as far as his Rolodex. And he never says, I don't know someone who does that. He says, let me call around, see who I can find. And he knows people who knows people. And that is so valuable. And for us as business owners, we need to know people who know people. Too many of, especially like the direct sales people, think that they're so small they don't need to have a team of people around them. And I think we all do. If you ever want to get to any size where you're earning six figures, I think you need to have a team of people that do stuff better than you. Don't you?
And I say this because I see too many people, you give them something like that and they want to focus on just that. Don't focus on just building a team around you before you move. Keep moving and you'll find those people. That's how I found mine. That's how you found yours. One of the greatest pieces of advice you and Ray both gave me was if you meet somebody and they have a skill you need or a talent that you could find useful in your business at some point, get their phone number and put it in your phone. And now they have little notes and stuff where you can put they're good at.
Somebody that I can't see who it is says Facebook user, but it's a marketing question. It says, how do you get a personalized link to go to your e-store? I bought a name on GoDaddy.com, bought the URL I wanted, and then just use forwarding and forward it to my e-store link. Now, just make sure, and people listening to this aren't just Avon people. There's a bunch of different people. So usually almost all the companies don't allow you to put the name of the company in the URL. So stay away from that. So like my Avon URL is nhlipsticklady.com. It doesn't have a company name. It doesn't have a product name. It just has NH Lipstick Lady. It was something I chose Lipstick Lady not because I wear lipstick, but because my van has lipstick on it. Okay. Diane went through GoDaddy too. So it's GoDaddy.com, and you can just buy a name, a URL, and pay for forwarding and forward it to the one that's assigned to you from the company, the replicated site.
It's like as I've lost more of my eyesight, I have become dependent on Teresa for all the policies and procedures on an incentive. If they put out an incentive, I will give her 24 hours and then I'll call her and go, okay, run this down for me. And she has it, but I have the ability to retain that and then I can ask questions and go.
Now, so has your memory gotten better as your eyesight's gotten worse?
Actually, yes.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense though, huh?
Yeah, it's like my sense of smell's gotten better too, and that's a blessing.
Oh, that can be a bad thing.
I can tell you who peed their pants on aisle 4 in Walmart, but yeah. So,
No, I know. Remember,
you were
but
saying when you were, I smell Pete. I smell Pete.
oh, I was just gonna say that. But when the kid was young, it was like, oh my God, I could come in the house and I could smell somebody that had pee in their shorts upstairs, and I'd be like, everybody check your pants because I'm smelling pee. But the little kids, like, I don't know what they weren't wiping or what, I don't know what the hell they were doing, but the little kids always smelled like pee to me, and it's like, oh my God, that's so horrible. Oh, so let's tell about the time. Oh, you weren't with me the one time. The whole trunk, the camp trunk thing. You weren't with me the one time that it was so bad. Uh, the kid was gone for like a week, and the kid had an accident or his pants and put it in the trunk and left it for the week. So the trunk was so bad. The trunk was so in with the regular clothes, not in a bag. The trunk was so bad. And what's funny is they had gone to the hall to eat breakfast or something, and all the trunks were sitting around. And coming up the path, I could smell the trunk. And I kept going, please let that not be my trunk. Please let that smell not be my trunk. And sure enough, it was my trunk. So all the way home,
Your head out the window.
right. I didn't know then. I would have burnt the trunk and bought all new stuff, but I didn't think of that. And I brought that trunk home, and we held our heads out the windows all the way home from Vermont. But anyway, then you were with me one time when we were dropping the trunk off, and it was funny because I told you, like, what, 2 weeks ahead, I kept saying, don't backseat drive me. I will leave you on the side of the road. I'm like, I do not care
but I
that you.
dropped that French fry, and as soon as we pulled into camp, that door was open, and I was trying to figure out where that French fry was in Grammy's van.
Oh, yeah, I borrowed Grammy's van because she was still driving and she didn't like to have garbage in her van at all. So when you dropped that French fry, I thought, woo!
You
Yeah,
got an equally panicked look. I was like,
yeah, 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 that was funny. But I thought it was funny because you didn't say anything. And when I've ridden with you or you've talked to me on the phone when you're riding with Molly, you're like talking and giving suggestions and stuff. I don't let people do that when they ride with me. And so I forewarned you. I'm like, do not do that when you're riding because I will put you out. And I'm like, I don't care if you're a blind guy. You could be standing on the side of the road going, where are the people? Where is everybody? I'm like, I don't care.
I knew you'd have to come and get me because if you'd have showed up back at the house without me, Mom would have been like, go get him.
Then there's that. But you didn't backseat drive me, which I appreciated because I don't like that.
I just sat there like,
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, well, you know why I don't like that is because when I first was learning how to drive, my father was, oh my God, I think we went out once together, and he did that to me so bad. I pulled over. I'm like, no, you drive. You're not teaching me how to drive. This is the end of that. No. He was on me so bad. I'm like, no, no, we're not doing that. So I ended up teaching myself how to drive. This was a lot of years ago. My first husband, I wasn't married to me yet, he's my boyfriend. He had an AMC Hornet. And while he was working on his other car, because he was home on leave or something, he'd say, take that, drive it around the backwoods with it. And that's how I learned how to drive.
yeah.
But we didn't have to have driving lessons back then like they do now. So, yeah.
Let's be real. In our day, people are driving at 14 years old. Not legally, but they could drive.
Tammy said, Lee Bibb, I know that exactly. This is Tammy Nall-Tillett. She's legally blind in her right eye, and at night she can't see a thing, but her hearing's 100%. So her hearing got better to make up for the sight thing. Kimberly Brown's Sandridge said, I just asked my husband about the tapping of the foot thing, and he had no idea, just no talking and no looking around. He hadn't heard about the tapping of the foot thing.
That was more of a new thing that sex trafficking started.
No.
But
it's just still funny because like we don't care about that in the women's room. If we're not into it, we're just laughing.
Stick your hand underneath that and pass a square. Again, you're on your own. If you get in there and there's no toilet paper, you should have prepared better and looked around and been aware of your surroundings to understand that that's not the toilet you should use.
I've never been like approached in the bathroom. I don't know. There's
It was
both.
an airport, and realistically, it was an airport thing where they were like tapping underneath.
Hi, Bo.
And,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
When they were doing that, it was like this whole hookup thing.
I'm not sure I'd be opposed to finding a hookup in the bathroom. To be like, well, it depends on who it is, I suppose.
I don't think it was a proposal. I think it was a hey, let's and get on out of here thing.
To me, I would just be like, if I'm not into it, I'd laugh and leave. I don't know. I guess I don't get why there's police involvement and why that old man lost his career and stuff. If it was an old woman, that wouldn't have happened. Have you ever seen an old woman lose her career for tapping her foot in the bathroom?
If you would just followed the rule, went in there, done his business, and gotten out, not listening to music, whatever he was doing, he would have been fine. I don't understand people go in the bathroom and continue their cell phone conversation.
I would do that. Right, not with you, obviously. Well, this has been fascinating. I guess we're all done already. Bo's decided it's time to go out. He waits till after the call's over. He's like my alarm clock. So we got through without even saying the F word. All we did was the club salute once. There we go. The club salute.
And I behaved, and you didn't worry about it, so we're good.
See? Yeah. See, Molly was worried for no reason.
We can behave. We don't, but we can behave.
You know, I keep thinking about that time with Panic, how my phone rang like 4 times. I thought it was you. So when I finally did answer to tell you to cut it out that I was busy, I didn't say cut it out, I'm busy. I said I did some trucker talking, sailor trucker talking. And it was her. I thought I was going to die. I thought, oh my God, sorry. Right? Because I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what the hell? I'm trying to get something done over here. And then it wasn't you. Ooh, whoops.
My favorite was when I called you dropped a bunch of F-bombs, and I spun it around, and my dad was sitting across the table.
Oh yeah, that wasn't good. Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, I'm afraid
you're like, I'll call you later, quick.
Yeah, I'm afraid of your father like you're afraid of my mother. No way around that. Well, anyway, thank you very much, Pimp Daddy.
No problem, sweetie.
Pimp Daddy. So we will see you next time. Thank you, everybody. And remember, if you want a sample of the thing, write in their sample, and I'll look back and get it. I'll get you. And the ones that already said they wanted one from when I was on with JP, they're on the way. I had like 16 people, and they're all on the way already. I sent them the other day. So I was late, but I got them out.
Thank you for joining us.
Say again?
I said thank y'all for joining us, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. And next week we got Erica. Erica's agreed to come on next week. So, yeah. So we will see you next week. Thank you, everybody. I'll put this on YouTube next. Bye.